Okay, what ended up happening is when I was in the black church, I was in the black church in 1985 and spent until 2001 when I left New York. So what we're talking about, about 15 maybe years or so, I spent in the black church. And what ended up happening was when I was a Catholic, I always was wondering, when the Catholic, we had Hispanic services, so it was all in Spanish or whatever. So you never ran into black folk. But what ended up happening is I wonder where they were at. Finally found out that they were in the black church, and I went ahead and started listening to some ministries on the radio, and that led me to go. Well, God, in His divine providence, provided an open way to go ahead and get into a black church, and there I was for several years as the audio tech. But here, one of the books that was highly recommended by Bishop Landon E. Penn was From Babylon to Timbuktu, and it was written by Rudolph R. Windsor. Now, it's not a stretch of the imagination. It's actually just pure deep analysis. If you look at the people in Israel, the Palestinians, and most of them are colored people, not white. So the push in the 50s, 60s, 40s, whatever you want to call it, when the Jews were supposedly coming back to take over their land. Well, dude, you got to look at the fact that the land was already occupied for years and years and centuries and generations by colored people. So, trying to make a conclusion or analysis of more likely than not, just based on demographics, just based on the area, that Jesus was probably black. But here, page 35 speaks about the original black Jews. And here, let me read this here. There is more than enough evidence to prove that all the original Israelites were black, including the surrounding nations in the Middle East. We must consider the evidence that the Dravidians were the original black people of India, that the Cushites, Ethiopians inhabited the southern Mesopotamia Valley, that Abraham and Ishmael married African women, Egyptians, that the Canaanites belonged to the African family of nations, the ancient Israel intermarried with black Canaanite tribes. At the time, Joseph was viceroy of Egypt. His brothers could not distinguish him from the black Egyptians because Joseph was black. After Pharaoh promulgated the cruel decree to extirpate, whatever you call it, Hebrew males, only a black Moses would have been able to conceal effectively for any length of time among black Egyptians. That Daniel had a dream of an atmosphere, famous god with woolly hair, that biblical leprosy laws of the time could only apply to very dark people with black hair. The black Jews of India, Abyssinia, Ethiopia, and West Africa consider themselves original Jews because of the purity of their Israelite blood. This has been stated by Alan Golbery. I didn't never notice that there was another reference to another book, and it's footnoted number 10. But anyway, what the main point is, this is one of the books that I recommend just because it gives you. I hate racism. I hate prejudice too, and this sort of combat some of that, in that there's a different perspective and just a different history out there that you might want to check out. And this book would help you prove that point. Take a look at it by Windsor. Rudolph Windsor. Windsor. Take care.